WoW can cook, and today we have an amazing recipe, and it is called warmed pumpkin bowl. And I actually found this one online. Who wrote it, Dr. Gloria?
I don't think it's in my copy. I'll get it to you. It's in the recipe.
Okay, so we'll give credit to the author of this. We kind of tweaked it a little bit, but we'll give it to credit in our actual blog post where you can find the recipe below the video. Okay, but
right.
Starting off with, you make cauliflower rice. So this is like a mock oatmeal, and you can make your own cauliflower rice. It's cheaper than buying it. So what you want to do is set up your food processor on the shred blade, okay, because you're going to shred this for uniformity's sake. And all you're going to do is take cauliflower flowerets, stick it in the food processor, and hit the shred tab.
Okay, now if it doesn't have, mine doesn't have a shred tab. So I do it a little different. So go ahead and show us how that works in the funnel.
Okay,
and I was
and it is,
let's see it.
Cauliflower. So I'll show you. So this recipe calls for a cup. So I'll show you how it looks.
It's just like rice.
See the consistency?
Yeah, it's like rice.
So we're gonna take, I don't have a cup measuring, so
that's okay, wing it.
I do everything.
But you know, the recipe calls for specific amounts, and calls for 1 cup of frozen. But I was telling Tracee during the break that I stopped buying frozen cauliflower rice because I found that in the bag, sometimes it started turning colors, and I was afraid it was like molding or it was old. And you see how easy it is. Tracee just showed us. Now, Tracee, I don't have my big food processor like you do now. I will have one later. But I have a small food processor. It does not have that feature. So I just put it in the regular one, and it still comes out like rice. With just a regular blade, I don't even put the top blade on. And it still comes out just like rice. So it depends on the machine you have. Cool. So experiment a little, but that's cool. It's easy, it's inexpensive, and it's so much healthier than something that's already pre-done. Okay, go ahead.
Right. And I bought it at the farmer's market. So local, seasonal, always best. And then a half a cup of pumpkin.
Always.
Now my pumpkin puree. Can. But
right. Most of ours do. Mine does.
And then a half a cup of, I use flax milk. You can use any kind of nut milk you want.
Okay, now I didn't use flax milk when I made it. I've tried it with cashew milk, and I've tried it with almond, and I like the cashew better. So it's whatever milk alternative you want to use.
Okay, and then how much pumpkin spice do I use?
The pumpkin pie spice is 1.5 teaspoons. I think we've adjusted all that.
Is there anything else?
Just butter, or, you know, if you want to add some nut butter, I did. I added almond butter. No, I didn't. I added the butter, nut butter combination from Trader Joe's that has a little bit of everything. And I don't know if you know, that's been discontinued from what I was told. So I had to, you know, I had a jar, but usually you'll have to use just a butter unless you can find somebody that has a combination. Okay,
so this is just almond butter. And then we're going to stick it on the stove.
And then you add your protein powder later, right?
Yes, that's very important. You don't want to add the protein powder first. So we're going to cook this up, and I'll show you the consistency it's going to get to. And then after, I pull it off the stove, and then I add the protein powder and the flax seed. And you may need to use more of the milk if it gets too thick.
Right. I did. I had to use more. I didn't like it. I don't even like oatmeal that thick, or quinoa cereal. So what I did, Tracee, was I dissolved the protein powder in some additional milk, in cold milk. And then I added it that way. So it was already dissolved, much like you would dissolve cornstarch. and it worked really well. And I added more butter, of course, because I wanted it pretty rich. Now, you don't have extra cinnamon in your recipe. I put extra cinnamon on mine.
Okay.
At the end, when I added the protein and the extra milk, and it was really good that way. So I just gave it, you know, so everybody can adjust. I didn't want just the pumpkin pie spice. I really wanted more cinnamon.
Okay, now look, this is getting, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit so that it will just kind of cook the cauliflower and get nice and thick and creamy. I cover it so that it really cooks more because I don't like the raw of the cauliflower. I want that cauliflower really cooked down.
Yeah, me too. I don't like it raw. Okay, so how long does it take usually for you?
It takes maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, see, it took me about 12. So double on a different stove, see? Told you. That's why people that have electric stoves have to understand that recipes from a chef, somebody that is really a cook, is always done on gas or propane, not on electric. So that's the reason that it's so important.
Okay, this looks pretty good. So
show us how the consistency.
So look at the consistency.
Like oatmeal.
Yeah, just like oatmeal.
Yep.
So then you place this all in the bowl. And you add your protein powder and your flaxseed.
Oh, I did it different. Okay.
And then a little bit of milk.
Oh, so you didn't mix the milk and the protein powder and put it in the pan. I did.
No.
Okay.
Maybe I should have done that. I don't want any bit of protein powder sticking to the sides of the pan because I want it all inside my body.
Right.
And the
but
flax
if you do
I
dissolve
don't put
it,
because I want it to be more crunchy. Soft.
Okay, so let me tell you what I did because I didn't admit to it before. I did dissolve the protein powder. I have a organic whey protein powder. It's 20 grams of protein in a serving. And I dissolved it in the milk alternative. In my case, it was the cashew milk that I used the first time. Then, but in the pan, I chopped up apples. You could use applesauce because I love my oatmeal that way, and put some Granny Smith apples in it, sliced them real thin, peeled them and sliced them and put them in. Oh my gosh, was it good. It's like the best oatmeal, and then sprinkled cinnamon on top.
Wow. So I have no more room in this bowl. Look at it. It is full. Like I couldn't put it right here. And
so show them the consistency. See, it's just like oatmeal. Only without it's gelatinous like the oatmeal. But you can add anything you would add to oatmeal. You can add, I mean, if you want the sugar, you can add dried cranberries, raisins, applesauce, apples. I have a recipe similar to that, and I had some home canned peaches, and I cut them up and put them into but I did it all in the skillet. I didn't add it at the end. So I think it can be done, any way. Mine didn't stick to the pan, and I used it in stainless steel. So are you going to sprinkle anything else on top, or is your flaxseed basically what you've got in there for fiber?
This is it. Well, the fiber, there's all that cauliflower and pumpkin is a ton of fiber.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, you're not going to put chopped nuts or anything else in it.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
I don't like being overly full. So this is enough food for me for a meal. And if I add extra stuff, like I have added walnuts.
Too much.
Banana. I've added other things when I was playing with this recipe, and it's just too much food for my body. So this is a good amount, but this is like a really stick to your ribs. This lasts it's only like 300 calories. Maybe more because I added the almond butter. I don't always do almond butter to it. So I like having like small meals more spread throughout the day, and I eat more.
Yeah, see, and I couldn't eat all that. That bowl was too much for me. So I would have added some chopped nuts, or we call it nut dust. because I don't chew well with my oral surgery. So we put it in a coffee grinder that's just for nuts and herbs and spices, and we sprinkle it on top. So it almost looks like brown sugar, and it's nuts. And so it works really well. So just the whole reason for us sharing this is to tell you that you have to adapt it. Remember that a recipe is only a guide. Tracee is sharing what she does. I'm sharing what I do. I don't stick to the diet that she does. She's an athlete. I'm not. So make it your own. Make it the way we wrote it the first time. And then just doctor it the way. If your kids love bananas and it's the only way they can eat it and they shouldn't be having all the carbs, put some bananas in it or mash them in your food processor with a potato masher and put them in when you're cooking it. Because I did put everything in the pan. I didn't do it in the dish.
So I have done this without the almond butter, and I've done a half of a banana diced with like maybe a quarter cup of chopped walnuts. That is delicious. But then I would do that instead of the nut butter because I can't do both. It's too much.
Right. No, I agree. It's too much.
Perfect consistency. It's too hot for me to eat right now, but wishing you a bon appetit.
But I have a question.
Breakfast.
Did you sweeten it? Because I sweetened mine with monk fruit.
No, because my protein.
Did you sweeten it? Okay, see, my protein powder has vanilla flavoring and stevia, but it isn't sweet enough for me. So I put in a little bit more monk fruit. So yeah, again, make it your own. Remember, this is only a guide. It's Tracee's experience and mine blending together to give you ideas, not necessarily to say this is the way you have to do it. So remember that. We're here to guide you, not to tell you what to do, other than the first time you cook it, you should do it the way the recipe is.
And everybody's palate is different, you guys. So like if I think something is sweet enough for me and Dr. Gloria doesn't, maybe that's just her preference. Or it's also the protein powder. My protein powder has 3 ingredients, and all it is, well, this one, the vanilla has a little bit more, it has like 4, but it's just sweet with stevia and it has vanilla in it. And but it's
so does mine.
For me. So maybe hers has mine has 4. You just never know. There's so many variables, but play with it, have fun, and enjoy a really healthy, warm breakfast
that has no carbs that's going to feed candida or blood sugar.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
Thank you, Dr. G. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, hun. Thank you.
Thank you.
WoW can cook. Thank you.
Okay. Bye for now.